So are you learning Spanish and you feel stuck, like at a standstill, and you're wondering if maybe you're the problem, if maybe you're just not good at Spanish, maybe you want to give up, you're just not motivated anymore? Welcome and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Nas, and here I speak all things language learning, where currently I am documenting my road to fluency with Spanish. So if you want to learn and grow with me, then consider subscribing. Learning a language, you're gonna go through different seasons. You're gonna have your highs and you're gonna have your lows. If you watched my recent interview with a Colombian native Spanish speaker, talking about how, the secrets to speaking like a native and just how to grow faster in Spanish. She mentioned that oftentimes with learning Spanish, you'll feel like you're on an uphill climb, but then you crash and you have to pick yourself back up. You're not branching out enough. You're not doing enough. You know what I mean? You're relying on your 50-minute a day Duolingo streak, or you're relying on the textbook assignment that your teacher gave you, which once you're through with it, you forgot what you just did. Or you're relying on a 1-2 minute video on YouTube about how to conjugate AR verbs, but you don't actually put those things into practice. Literally, I traveled recently to the States, right? I'm actually in Florida right now. And guys, if you know Florida, you know that there are a bunch of Hispanics here, right? Like an Uber, you take an Uber, they're Hispanic. You go to the supermarkets, you're probably being cashed up by a Hispanic person. You're walking on the mall, you're likely going to walk past Hispanics every couple persons you pass. They're everywhere, especially in Florida. And this interesting thing happened to me recently.
Poco a poco vas a mejorar si practicas todos los días, ¿no? Pero si estás en la compañía de otras personas que solo hablan español, no hay oportunidades de practicarlo, ¿no?
Lo que sucede en la casa.
En la casa, sí. Trata de ver videos en inglés, no sé, o trata de hacer las cosas que haces todos los días en inglés para aprender el vocabulario muy común en inglés, y poco a poco vas a mejorar, no sé.
Pero tú hablas mucho español.
Sí, practico mucho.
Tú hablas mucho español, porque mira.
Todavía tengo mucho más que aprender, pero.
Para tú no vivir en una tierra donde se habla español, tú hablas español perfecto.
Gracias.
And that brings me to my next mistake, is not being bold enough to use these everyday experiences to grow little by little. Just this habit of leveraging these different opportunities that I have to speak Spanish to native speakers, understanding that I don't live in a country where that opportunity is presented to me every single day or even often. So when I am in an environment where those opportunities come rushing in, I take advantage of them. So my Uber speaks Spanish. Best believe if it's a 5-minute ride, that 5 minutes out of my day to practice just general conversation with the native speaker will go a long way, because guess what? I'm practicing my conversation skills. I'm learning how to speak with everyday Spanish. I'm not depending on, just a textbook Spanish. I'm practicing my listening comprehension, right? By listening and comprehending what they're saying, or in order to essentially maintain a conversation with them, right? And most importantly, another mistake is I'm not being fearful. And I won't say I'm never fearful of this, but making mistakes. Now, when it comes down to a language, remember guys, we're like a baby in Spanish because it's not our native tongue, right? So making mistakes is literally how you learn, how you grow. Similarly, when you are learning your native language, growing up, you kind of just imitate what you heard around you. You said things sometimes that made zero sense, but then you learned the correct way of saying it. And you know what? For me, I actually think that making mistakes helps me grow faster. Why? Because sometimes the mistake is so embarrassing that I never make it again. Like, it's just etched in the correction is etched in my brain. Like, simple stuff, like pronunciation mistakes of basic words that I didn't realize, or just anything really can go a long way. We have these big goals, but we don't have strong objectives behind the goals. Like, why are you learning Spanish? If you don't have a strong why, you're not going to stay the course, right? What are you doing to get to that goal of fluency in Spanish? If you don't have a set plan or mission plan for how you're going to get there, then you're not going to get there. Because if you aim for nothing, you will hit it every single time, as the famous quote says. I just wanted to encourage you guys really quickly just to not give up, never give up, and keep trying, because it's worth it in the end. Do you know how good it felt to be able to like have a conversation with a Spanish speaker in that simple Uber ride? And I kid you not, that very same day, I think I took 2 more Ubers, and the other 2 drivers were also Spanish speakers, and I practiced again. And then the next day I took another Uber, and he was Cuban, and we had an entire like 15-minute conversation in Spanish. And you know what, he didn't speak any English, and so just me being able to speak his native language made him feel comfortable, and he opened up to me, gave me his life story. He was so friendly to me, and we had a really good conversation. And you know what, those little things built my confidence. So don't be shy. You're taking an Uber, you're going to the supermarket, you know you have those apps, those free apps available to you on the Play Store or Apple Store, such as Tandem or Hello Talk, to practice speaking with native speakers, you know, voice noting or having phone calls with them or just texting them and learning everyday Spanish. It will go a long way. Because trust me when I tell you that the textbook Spanish will only take you so far and no further. So imagine that same thing happens to you, and you don't know that one good job, your Spanish is really good, can actually like give you, like, replenish that motivation you need to keep going. So have fun with it, guys. Don't make it feel too much like a chore. Don't overcomplicate grammar. Don't overcomplicate the rules. If you want, feel free to comment down below, how is your Spanish learning journey going for you? If you want some practical exercises for how to actually learn Spanish and grow much faster, then click the video on the screen, because I made an entire video for you guys giving you creative and effective exercises that you can start right now to skyrocket your Spanish this year.